So does that mean I'm having a quarter life crisis? How he sells his apartments, really, apartments. Subtle art of not giving a f. Most of us are constantly living or thinking about either the past or the future. Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. So it's actually a really beautiful day and there's barely any noise out in the streets. I live on quite a busy road. You can hear the traffic a lot and it really gets irritating because it's difficult to film because I'm trying to get good sound. I try to make myself look somewhat presentable because I've been living in like sweatpants and no makeup and stuff. I think sometimes it's okay to do that. I think we all need lazy days. When you get dressed, you feel more put together, and especially during this quarantine and lockdown, we need to kind of get our mind right? So at least keeping something that we're used to, keeping some sort of consistency in terms of what we're used to doing, you know, like getting dressed. Anyway, let's just jump into the topic of the video because that's what this video is about, right? I just wanted to talk about some of my favorite reads since being in lockdown. So obviously you have a lot of free time in your hands, so you need to, I mean, why not use that time to read, to watch amazing movies, documentaries, make art. Okay, obviously I've already emphasized the point of making art enough. I mean, I am an artist, you know, so what else do you expect from me? I use Audible and I download my books onto Audible. So I'm going to tell you the recent books I've bought, that I've read, and that I'm still busy reading, and my thoughts on them. So this was maybe a few years ago. Subtle Art of Not Giving a F. The point of the book is mainly to kind of reassess why you're caring so much and thinking about why you're caring so much about something when you only have so much energy in a day. So you should only care about the things that matter to you, kind of thing. It sounds harsh, but when you read it, you'll understand. Because we're also worried about sometimes really insignificant things, especially during this lockdown. I think we've realized what is truly important. Obviously, money is important and you need to eat, but I think a lot of us have changed what we value already. And I think we're realizing that we need each other way more than we thought. And it's kind of just bringing people together in ways that I think none of us ever thought possible. So guys, I was giving you advice and tips on what books I was reading in order to feed your mind with positive things, and here I am filming a TikTok video. So does that mean I'm having a quarter life crisis? Does that mean I am split personality, or does it mean I am a hypocrite? Tell me, 1, 2, or 3, which one? Comment down below.
Alright, you ready? Alright, you ready? Yeah. Hey! Shh, dude, no. You gotta go like, hey. Oh, okay. Wait. My words.
I read The Artist's Journey by Steven Pressfield, about your process of becoming an artist and fears and the creative process. And I read it a while ago, so I don't really remember, so I don't want to give you false information on that. A while ago, I also read The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins, and that book is amazing. She's one of my favorite self-help authors. When you are in a certain situation, let's say you're at a networking event or whatever, you're with friends or something like that, and your first instinct is to say something that could maybe be related to what you want on your goals. When your first instinct is to say something, you should just say it and count down from 5 until 1. You know, you need to act on a certain goal. The mind kind of jumps in and tries to make us overthink the thing that you want to do, because we think of maybe fear of like rejection, fear of embarrassment, etc. So what you should do is kind of just jump in and do it. So you count on from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you kind of just jump in and do it. Then I read Principles by Ray Dalio. Yeah, his philosophies on how big businesses are run on systems, and everything you can think of is actually run on systems. Instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, just try and find a system that you can adhere to. And I found it was great just to apply to any aspect of your life, really. Yeah. Then I read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It's a classic, I'm sure you've heard of it. It's about building rapport with people, how to act in social situations and everything. Then Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. I have still got quite a way to go. I've in the beginning stages, I've maybe read a quarter of it. His life philosophy, but that is based on science. 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Some of it is quite controversial, but I think you have to keep an open mind when you read it. It's about kind of getting things you want, and yeah, it's like 48 laws that you can apply to your own life. Let me find one of the rules that he talks about. So I'm going to give you one out of the 48, but always say less than necessary. So depending on who you're with, don't give away too much. Like if you have all these goals and stuff in mind, don't give all your plans away. A really great book. I actually want to reread it. I really loved it. Okay, so I'm currently reading, so this is more like way more recent. I'm reading Sell It Like Sirhan. So Ryan Sirhan is one of the top real estate agents in the States, and I think he's based in New York, and he talks about how what his sales strategies are. And it's not just about being a salesman and making sales, it's also about building relationships and really listening to people's needs, and how he sells his apartments. Okay, so then the next one I haven't started yet, so these are just books that I've recently bought. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I've been wanting to read that for a long time. Another book by Mel Robbins, because I enjoyed her first book so much, The 5-Second Rule. So I'm going to read another book, Take Control of Your Life. Okay, The Artist's Way is a book. I've mentioned this in other videos before, but it's a book that's helped me so much over time. So I've actually bought a few other of Julia Cameron's books, including The Artist's Way at Work. So that's about people who are in corporate jobs and who have like artistic desires or dreams, and how to kind of balance both. Also includes a lot of her philosophies from the first book, The Artist's Way. So that, and then I'm also reading Walking in This World, and that's how she applies her own principles, and I've just started that one. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard about it, but it's about how most of us are constantly living or thinking about either the past or the future. So we're constantly either worrying or thinking about something that isn't even real. His philosophy is that all we have and all that is ever has been real is a present moment. So he talks about how to observe your negative feelings instead of becoming them, because so many of us associate so heavily and so strongly with our problems, and it's very dangerous when people identify with a mindset instead of dissociating with it. It's very difficult because we all have grown up with in a certain context. We all have a certain history, and we've all gone through pain and different levels of pain and traumas, and a lot of us kind of identify with those traumas, and that is not always a good thing. Oh yes, another one I read a while ago is Crushing It by Gary Vaynerchuk, and that's about social media marketing. He's a social media marketing expert. I'm sure you've heard of it. So yeah, I really recommend those books. So those are just a few recommendations for this lockdown period if you want some book ideas. So the top 5 would probably be The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle, 48 Laws of Power, definitely. How to Win Friends and Influence People, I definitely recommend that. You have to read that. And then Julia Cameron's books, if you're a creative person, definitely The Artist's Way. And Mel Robbins, the last one, Mel Robbins, The 5-Second Rule. I hope you guys are surviving lockdown. I hope you're finding ways to entertain yourself. My last thought that I want to leave you off with is people who disregard the arts as being important. What would you be doing right now in lockdown without art? What would you be doing without books, without creative content, without art, without creative things? So yeah, that's just my point of the day. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, click the notification bell so you know next time I post, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.